My child, stop right now. Pause exactly where you are. Slow your hands. Let your breath settle. Quiet your heart for just a moment. I have been reaching for you again and again, first in a gentle way, then with a stronger pull, yet the noise around you kept rising, and the weight in your mind kept growing. Life kept moving, and your thoughts became crowded, your spirit became tired. But even now, as your eyes rest on these words, my voice is still finding you. This is not meaningless, this is not empty, and it is not just another moment to scroll past. This is me stepping into your forward motion because I love you too much to let you keep drifting without clarity. I have been calling you in quiet pauses you tried to fill, in late nights when your mind wouldn't rest, in that ache you couldn't fully explain. I have been speaking through the restlessness you kept brushing off, through the sudden feeling that something is missing, through that pressure inside you like time is running ahead while your soul is struggling to keep up. My child, I am asking you to stop because this moment is delicate, and if you rush past it, you may not recognize it again. This is not appearing by chance. I need you to grasp this with your whole heart. This moment did not rush into existence, and it did not appear overnight. I have been waiting for you here far longer than you can measure, longer than you imagine, longer than you might believe if every step were laid out before you. I have watched you grow through effort and disappointment, through hope that rose again after failure, through seasons where you kept going even when your strength felt thin. I saw the courage you carried when no one noticed, when there was no praise, no recognition, no reassurance. I have seen the fear you carefully hid behind practiced smiles. I have heard the questions you kept locked inside because you were afraid of what the answers might demand of you. And through every hidden struggle, I remained patient. I did not rush you. I did not pressure you. I did not force your steps. I allowed you to walk, to stumble, to learn, because love does not pull harshly or drag what it treasures. And now, after all the detours, all the pauses, all the delays you once questioned, you are here again, hearing my voice. Do you truly believe this alignment is coincidence? Do you think the timing is meaningless? No, my child. This moment has been forming quietly, steadily, like deep waters gathering beneath the surface, waiting for the right season, the right weight, the right opening in your heart. Scripture reminds us, for everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. This is that kind of time. Do not pass it by. I am not speaking to alarm you, but to awaken you because your soul is standing at the threshold of something eternal. And moments like this are never empty. There are moments in a life that fade as quickly as they arrive, and there are moments that quietly redirect everything. This is not an ordinary pause. This is a crossing. I know how practiced you are at moving on, at letting words pass without landing, at guarding your heart from hope because disappointment once cost you deeply. Your mind learned to stay quick, alert, protected, but this moment was never meant to rush past you. If you move away now, you are not simply leaving behind sentences or sound. You are turning from an invitation. Something deeper than thought recognizes this, even if your mind hesitates. That subtle tightening within you, the stillness asking you to remain just a little longer, that is not pressure. That is awareness. That is your spirit remembering what it once knew. Scripture says, "Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call upon him while he is near." Isaiah 55:6. Nearness has a feeling, and you are sensing it now. This is eternity leaning into time. And I am asking you calmly, firmly, do not turn away. I am not reaching for you to accuse or shame you. I am not here to rehearse your failures or expose your weaknesses. I already see them, and they did not disqualify you. I am reaching for you because love intervenes. Love does not condemn it, calls back, restores, and chooses again. If these words are reaching you in a personal way, pause for a moment. You don't need to explain anything. Simply acknowledge it quietly, honestly. If you feel led, you may write, "I'm listening" in the comments. Not to perform for anyone, just as a simple marker of honesty in this moment. I am reaching toward you because time continues to move and your heart matters deeply. You measure time in days and years, but I see it as openings, moments where healing can begin, where direction can change, where return is possible. Some openings do not remain forever. This is not discipline. This is compassion. I am calling now because I want to draw you away from paths that quietly drain your strength, from patterns that dull your spirit, from distractions that seem harmless yet slowly steal your peace. I am not reaching to control you, but to guard you. I want to pull you back before weariness turns into emptiness, before confusion hardens into distance, before delay becomes regret. If these words are reaching you now, it means I have not stepped away from you. Let that settle not as fear, but as truth. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. Lamentations 3:22. I am faithful and patient, yet love speaks with clarity. There were moments when your thoughts wandered, your choices shifted, your priorities pulled you far from where you meant to be. There were times you quieted my voice because it asked something of you. Still, I remained near. Still, I waited. Still, I opened paths for you to hear me again. Every calling has its season, and every invitation asks for an answer. That you are hearing this now is mercy in motion. It is grace still at work. It is my hand still extended. Do not pass this by, not because I am fragile, but because your heart is. I have waited a long time to meet you here, not in strength, not in certainty, not with answers in hand. Here, in honesty. Here, in vulnerability. Here, in the quiet place where pretending finally gives way. I have been waiting for the real you, not the version you present, not the one you use to endure. I want to meet the weary you, the searching you, the hopeful yet afraid you. This moment carries more weight than you realize, because encounters like this redirect a life. They are not always loud or dramatic. Often they arrive as a gentle breaking, a soft yielding, a breath released after being held too long. Scripture speaks of this quiet turning. A bruised reed he will not break, and a smoldering wick he will not quench. Isaiah 42:3. When it happens, something shifts and nothing stays the same. Love is speaking while time keeps moving. I am not pressing you, I am waking you. I want you to see where you stand, where you are going, and where you could be if you walk with me again. You do not need everything resolved. You only need to listen today just enough to let your heart open where it has stayed guarded. You learn to protect yourself, and I understand why. But protection, when never lowered, becomes isolation. I am not here to wound you. I am here to restore you. There is a reason these words press against your heart instead of passing through your thoughts. There is a reason they feel personal. It is because they are. I know your story. I know your name. I know your fears and your hopes, even the ones you buried because carrying them became too painful. I know the moments when giving up felt close, and the quiet wish that someone would truly see you. I saw you then, I see you now, and I am speaking because I want you to live fully, not merely survive. Stay present just a little longer. Let the noise fall back. Let the walls soften. Allow yourself to be reached. This is not coincidence. It is not too late. It is not empty or misplaced. This is my voice finding you again. Do not move past this as if it were ordinary. I am stepping into your momentum on purpose. I am meeting you in your rush, in your habits of distraction, because if you keep moving without pause, you may never notice what is slipping away. I know how quickly attention shifts, how trained you have become to pass by anything that asks you to feel deeply. Pause here because this moment may be more intentional than you realize. Long before you noticed it, something was already drawing you toward this pause. This is not just general comfort. It is meant to meet you personally, right where you are. Yet something within you senses the difference, the quiet stillness, the weight that asks you not to hurry. As it is written, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." Jeremiah 1-5. That knowing is stirring something within you now. I am not forcing you. I am inviting you to recognize my voice. I am interrupting with purpose, because love does not stay silent when time carries weight. I have been reaching for you far longer than you realize, longer than you may want to admit. I called to you in ways that felt ordinary at first, easy to miss. I spoke through gentle nudges you brushed aside, through unease you explained away, through restlessness you blamed on exhaustion. I was there in the quiet questions that surfaced when life looked fine on the outside, when you paused and wondered, is this all there is? I was there in that hollow feeling that appeared even in the middle of noise. When you sensed something was off, but could not name it, that was me, not accusing you, not condemning you, calling you patiently, lovingly, waiting for you to slow down enough to hear. This interruption is mercy. Not inconvenience, not delay. Mercy stepping directly into your path. I know you were headed somewhere. I know you had plans, intentions, distractions already lined up. But some paths feel normal until you see how far they lead you from life. I am stopping you now because I see farther. I see where certain choices quietly end. I see how easily hearts grow numb when nothing ever challenges them. Souls do not drift only through rebellion, they drift through distraction. And I will not let you drift without reaching for you again. This is not background noise. It is not something to half hear while your mind wanders. It carries weight because it carries love, and love speaks truthfully. I would not interrupt you if this did not matter. I would not press against your attention if your soul were not near a turning point. There are times when heaven allows you to keep walking, and times when heaven steps in. This is one of those moments, gentle yet firm, quiet yet urgent. You may sense resistance rising within you right now, a quiet urge to move on, to downplay this moment, to promise yourself you'll return to it later. Be honest with yourself. That resistance is not because this moment lacks meaning, it is because it is touching something true. Light always disturbs what has grown comfortable in shadow. Truth creates tension when a heart has learned how to avoid it. Scripture reminds us, everyone who does evil hates the light, but whoever lives by the truth comes into the light. John 3:20-21. I am not angry with you for feeling this way. I understand it, but I am asking you not to follow it. Stay here. Let these words reach you while your heart is still open enough to hear. Resistance is not your enemy, it is a signal. It tells you that something real is being uncovered, something that matters. Do not retreat from it. This is where clarity begins, where awakening takes shape, where truth gently presses in, not to harm you, but to lead you forward. I have been reaching for you through time itself, through delays that frustrated you, through doors that stayed closed when you were certain they should open, through seasons that stretched far longer than you expected. You called those moments setbacks, but many of them were pauses, quiet invitations meant to turn your attention back toward what matters most. Still, you kept moving. You filled the silence. You pressed forward without stopping to ask why your soul felt weary, even while your life looked full. This interruption is not punishment. It is an invitation to finally notice. This message is not for everyone. Some would dismiss it. Some would feel nothing, but you feel something, even if you cannot explain it. Even if you stay guarded, your heart still responds. Beneath distraction and defense, you still recognize my voice. That is why you are here. Do not minimize what that means. I speak with clarity because this moment matters not with panic, but with love. There are seasons when hearts are tender and seasons when they harden. There are windows when change is possible, and moments when it becomes harder. This is a window. I do not want you to miss it simply because you were too distracted to stop. Love warns. Love interrupts. Love refuses to stand by while someone it cherishes drifts toward emptiness. This is not a courtroom. It is a rescue. I am not listing your failures or dragging your past into the light to shame you. I am calling your attention back to life, back to truth, back to relationship, reminding you that you are not alone, not forgotten, and not beyond reach. I know how long it has been since you last felt close. I know the excuses about being busy, about later, about when things settle down. I know the quiet guilt and the fear that listening might require change. You are right about one thing: listening changes things. Not because I want to take from you, but because I want to return what you have been slowly losing. Do not mistake patience for indifference, or past silence for absence. I was waiting for a moment like this, when you would finally stop long enough to hear. Let the urge to rush fade, let the noise quiet, soften your defenses. I am not here to overwhelm you, I am here to meet you. This moment carries meaning because your life matters, your soul matters, and your response matters. I have seen what others never saw: the sleepless nights, the heavy rooms, the questions you never spoke aloud. I saw the tears you hid and the tears you could no longer hold back. I know the difference between tears of pain and tears of confusion, between loss and exhaustion, between heartbreak and being tired of being strong. You felt unseen, but my eyes never left you. Every quiet ache mattered. I watched you carry weights you never asked for, smile while heavy, give while empty, show up when you wanted to disappear. You wondered if it mattered. It did. It still does. I saw the confusion when you did everything you thought was right and still felt lost. I saw the questions about your worth and direction, the comparisons, the doubt that crept in. I was there in every unanswered question, watching a tiredness settle that rest could not fix. Even when heaven felt quiet, I was working beyond what you could see. I saw you lower expectations to protect your heart. I saw you stay where you were not nourished because leaving felt too hard. I saw the thoughts you never shared, and I was not shocked by them. I understood the wounds beneath them, the fear beneath them, the longing beneath them. I saw your quiet kindness, your patience, your compassion while hurting. None of it went unnoticed. Silence was never rejection. It was protection, preparation, an invitation to listen beyond the noise. I watched you change. I saw innocence, resilience, and the courage it took to keep going when giving up felt easier. Do not underestimate that strength. I placed it in you. Even when you drifted, I watched not to accuse, but to be ready to catch you. I saw the detours, the scars, the lessons learned the hard way. None of them disqualify you. None surprised me. I knew your story before you lived it, and I still chose you. This moment is part of that care. You have never been invisible. I did not ignore your pain or miss your tears. I have been closer than you think, holding your story with tenderness, preparing to meet you here, where you are finally ready to be seen. My child, I know you feel it, that pressure you can't quite explain, the weight that settles in your chest without a clear cause, the urgency rising inside while everything around you seems unchanged. That restlessness following you through your days is not weakness, and it is not imagined. What you are sensing is real. It is not random, and it is more than stress or exhaustion. It is a signal, your spirit responding before your mind can name it. There are times when life feels heavy because of circumstances, and times when it feels heavy because the soul is waking up. This is that moment. The pressure you feel is tied to awareness. Light is pressing against places in your heart that have been quiet for too long. Truth is knocking on doors you learned to keep closed. Before freedom comes, there is often unrest. Deep calls to deep, Psalm 42:7, and the stirring you feel is part of that call. You are not losing peace, you are being invited into a deeper one. But that doorway asks for honesty and movement. Time is not shrinking because love is fading, but because moments carry weight. What once felt optional now asks for a response. Neutrality is no longer safe, not because of severity, but because drifting always has a direction. You've felt the pull, haven't you? One part of you longs for comfort and familiarity. Another knows something must change. That tension is awakening. When a heart wakes up, what once felt normal can feel heavy, and what once felt harmless can feel hollow. This is not condemnation, it is alignment taking shape. The pressure grows when decisions are delayed, not out of anger, but because hesitation costs the soul. Remaining undecided drains life quietly. The tiredness you feel is not failure. It is evidence that your soul was not made to live in pause. Anxiety here is not meant to crush you. It is meant to alert you. These feelings are not enemies. They are messengers, telling you that staying where you are will cost you something precious. This is a season of response. Not everything must change at once, but what you already know cannot be ignored. Love will not let a heart sleep while danger grows quietly nearby. That is why neutrality is no longer safe for you, not because perfection is required, but because your heart was designed for direction. Readiness often comes after obedience, not before it. Waiting until you feel prepared can quietly become a way of staying where you are. The pressure you sense is not here to break you. It is meant to move you, just enough to step forward, to choose honesty over avoidance. I am not measuring you by time. I am standing with you in truth. There are moments when a heart is especially open, when awareness is sharp and response is possible. This is one of those moments. If you ignore it, life will continue, but something within you may slowly harden as a way to cope. That hardness can feel like strength, but it is not the strength you were created for. You were made for openness, for connection, for a life that flows instead of resists. The urgency you feel is not fear. It is alignment calling you forward. It is your spirit recognizing that the distance between who you are and who you were meant to be has grown too wide to overlook. I am not asking you to cross that distance all at once, only to stop pretending it is not there. Listen carefully. This is not a declaration of failure. It is an invitation. An invitation to choose clarity over confusion, movement over stagnation, life over numbness. It carries weight because it is real, timely, and rooted in love that sees both where you stand and where you could be. I know how loud the world is. I know how heavy responsibility feels. I know you are tired. That is why I am speaking now, not when you feel strong, but when you are honest. The pressure you feel is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that something true is drawing near. Do not fear this moment. Let it sharpen you, awaken you, and guide you out of delay. I am here with you as you respond, steady and present. I reached out to you before, not with anger, not with threats, but with mercy appearing in quiet ways. I am not speaking now to accuse you. I am speaking because truth heals when it is carried by love, and my love has never stopped calling, even when you turned away. There were gentle nudges within you, small, persistent reminders that something needed to change, a sense that a certain path was slowly draining you. A thought returned again and again, even when you tried to silence it. That was me, not forcing you, not cornering you, simply pressing truth close and asking you to pay attention. I understand why you didn't always listen. Listening would have required pausing, questioning familiar habits, facing truths you weren't ready to face. I warned you through ordinary moments, in conversations that lingered, in discomfort that followed certain choices, in unease you tried to explain away. Peace slipped quietly, joy grew thinner. These were not punishments. They were signals, gentle taps before consequences needed to speak louder. As it is written, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4:23. You delayed not from rebellion, but from weariness. You hoped things would resolve themselves. You told yourself there was time. You believed the distance could be managed without loss. I watched with patience, even when it hurt, waiting for the moment when you would finally listen. Before you move on, take a quiet moment. Notice what stayed with you. Notice what stirred. You don't have to act on everything today, but don't ignore what you clearly recognized. Let this moment shape the next step you take.